But thank you very much, Secretary Perdue, for the kind introduction. There could be no better person to be our Secretary of Agriculture. A man known, trusted, and respected by your industry, that's for sure. I'm thrilled to be back in the amazing state of Tennessee. Here, as the state slogan goes, we see America at its absolute best, and you're doing well. You're doing a lot better since November 8th, I might add. At the same time, it's true of the people gathered here today. In our nation's former, and then you know that, our nation's farmers are just the most incredible people, and we are doing a job for you. You're seeing it like nobody else. Regulation, death tax, so much. You're a big beneficiary, and you're really producing like nobody else. So I just want to thank you for that. And that's why I'm so honored to be the first president to address the American Farm Bureau in more than 25 years. What happened? Where are they? What happened? What happened? Where are they? And you know, this is your 99th year, so I was very disappointed to hear that. You understand. 100 is so much cooler, I have to be honest. So I'll be back, I think, next year. I'll come back. All right? We'll come back. I want to thank Governor Haslam and Mrs. Haslam, wonderful people, for joining us, along with members of the Tennessee congressional delegation. And I sort of have this beautiful list that I wrote. Some of us came in on Air Force One, and they're great people, and they're fighting for you. In addition to the governor and your great secretary, Senator Bob Corker, and they're out here someplace. Bob. Senator Lamar Alexander is here. Senator Pat Roberts. Thank you, Pat. Oh, does he love the farmers, Pat? Does he love those farmers? Right, Pat? Stand up, Pat. Do you love the farmers, Pat? Yes. He'll come in. We're talking about a different subject. What about the farmers? That's good. That's why they love you. Representative Diane Black, terrific woman. Representative Marsha Blackburn. Marsha. Representative Scott Desjardins. I love that name. Hi, Scott. Thank you, Scott. Right from the beginning. Representative Chuck Fleischman. Representative David Kustoff. Thank you, David. Representative Phil Rowe. I talk about Zippy, so I don't have to mention Zippy Duval. I'll talk about him in this speech. Tom Nassif. Where's Tom? Tom? Thank you, Tom. And Mark Morris, State Senate Majority Leader. All right, I've done my job now, all right? Okay. I've done my job. Did I do a good job? Did I leave out anybody? I hope not. It's always trouble when you do that. You left out one person. It's like for the rest of your life, they never speak to you. So it's always very dangerous. Thank you very much. I'm also thrilled to see one of my good friends and early supporters, and that is Tom. And I just said President and CEO Tom Nassif. I also want to thank the American Farm Bureau. And Zippy, I said I was going to mention you, and I am going to mention you because you have been there from the beginning, and that tractor that you drove during the inauguration was a very, very special moment. So I want to thank Zippy Duval. Thank you, Zippy. Thank you. Thank you. It was a special day. From that day on, we have been working every day to deliver for America's farmers, just as they work every single day to deliver for us. We know that our nation was founded by farmers. Our independence was won by farmers. Our continent was tamed by farmers. So true. Our armies have been fed by farmers and made of farmers. And throughout our history, farmers have always, always, always led the way. Are you surprised to hear that, farmers? I don't think so. You have led the way. Great people. The men and women in this room come from different backgrounds and from all across our land, but each of you carries the same title that's been proudly borne by patriots and pioneers, inventors and entrepreneurs, the title of, very proudly, American farmer. Thank you very much. You embody the values of hard work, grit, self-reliance, and sheer determination we need to, did you ever hear this expression? Make America great again. Has anybody ever And we're seeing already, it's very early, 11 months, the incredible results. We've created more than 2 million new jobs since the election, substantially more. Economic growth has surged past 3%, something that wasn't supposed to happen for a long time. We're way ahead of schedule. Unemployment is at a 17-year low. By the way, African-American unemployment is the lowest it's ever been in the history of our records. Great. I told you the stock market is hitting one all-time record after another, boosting your 401ks and retirement accounts for everyday Americans. Everybody happy with your 401k? Because if you're not, there's something very wrong. I had a policeman in New York come up to me and said, Mr. President, I was shaking hands. Do we love our police and our uniform? And he came up, he was online, and we're taking pictures, and it's a nice event. And he said, sir, I want to thank you for my 401k. I never thought in terms of this way. I said, I think I'm going to use this every once in a while. He said, my 401k is up 39%. It's so good. My wife thinks don't forget, this is like in 9 months when I met him. He said, my wife thinks I'm an investment genius. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And I said, you know what? Based on the stocks, 39 is not that good. You're not really doing that well. Don't tell your wife that. The American dream is roaring back to life, and we've just signed into law the most significant tax cuts and reforms in American history. It's a total of $5.5 trillion in tax cuts, with most of those benefits going to working families, small businesses, and who? The family farmer. And I hate to say this, but your competing party wants to raise those taxes. They want to raise them. Can't let that happen. We've worked too hard to get them. Businesses across America have already started to raise wages, and more than 100 companies have already given bonuses and other benefits to hundreds of thousands of workers as a result of these massive tax cuts. You see it happening every day. Today they just announced more. $1,000, sometimes more per employee, hundreds of thousands of employees, and overall millions of employees. We have over 1 million workers that have already received a tax cut bonus, something that nobody even thought when we made the bill. Nobody thought of that. It happened. AT&T came out, another one came out, another one, then they started copying. Now the ones that didn't get it, everyone's saying, where's mine? So they're all going to have it. So we never thought about it. And frankly, that worked out fantastically well, even before the February date where you're going to start seeing a lot more money in your paycheck. And yet every Democrat in the House and every Democrat in the Senate voted against tax cuts for the American farmer and for the American worker. But Republicans came together and delivered historic relief for our farmers and our middle class. And it wasn't easy. And we cannot let anything happen to that. And if the Democrats ever had the chance, the first thing they would do is get rid of it and raise up your taxes, sometimes by 40, 50, 60% higher than you're paying right now. We can't have that. That will undermine everything that we've done. You see the record business all over the world. They're talking about the United States again, all over the world. We cannot let anything happen to what we're doing. Under the really large tax cut, I always call it massive. Sometimes they say huge. Not a bad one. Huge tax cut. But under our huge tax cut that we just passed, Americans will be paying less in taxes and keeping more of their own money to do what you want. You can save it, you can spend it, but it's all good for our country. We've lowered tax rates, nearly doubled the standard deduction, and doubled the child tax credit. It's a big thing. Under this new law, the typical family of four earning $75,000 will see an income tax cut of more than $2,000 each, slashing their tax bill in half each year. American businesses are going from the highest tax rate in the developed world. Last year, the highest in the developed world, think of it, to one of the most competitive this year, from 35%, which is unacceptable, all the way down to 21%. And on top of that, you have a lot of advantages. Small and mid-sized businesses will receive massive tax cuts. It's a lot of the folks in this room.